People telling me that I'm not a real chef, people telling me that I've only got one arm, things like that actually fuel my fire
Hmm.
and inspire me to create and inspire me to maybe cross the edges a little bit and try something new.
For other people out there living with a disability that feel overlooked and underestimated, what message do you have? Do you hope they hear from your message when they're might be on the edge of scared of trying something based on what other people think?
It's right back to that thought I had earlier of try everything. Don't be afraid to fail. You can do anything. Set your mind to it.
Your brand, the healthy to hog wild food, where did that idea come from?
They gon' have barbecue. They gon' have barbecue. They gon' have barbecue. They gon' have barbecue. Get your barbecue on. Get your barbecue.
Ever notice how the sound of sizzling meat and the smell of smoke can silence the noise of the world? Now that's barbecue therapy. If the fire moves you, like, subscribe, share, and help spread the message because growth, like good barbecue, takes time and patience. Welcome to your therapy session. All right, welcome to the Barbecue Therapy Podcast. My name is Tavis Bryant, and today on Barbecue Therapy, I'm honored to sit down with a chef whose story is one of resilience, reinvention, and pure creativity. From Chicago, Mike Krohn has built Healthy to Hog Wild Food, a platform where barbecue collides with Italian tradition. He's been featured on Fox 32 Chicago, has collaborated with major brands, and get this, he's doing it all with one arm. But beyond fire and flavor, Mike and his family has also traveled the world, eaten in some of the finest restaurants, toured kitchens, and met award-winning chefs. That journey gives him a global perspective he brings back home to the pit. Mike, welcome to the show. I got one rule: make yourself at home. I got no sponsors, so speak freely.
Oh, good morning. Thank you for having me on.
All right, no problem. We're gonna start back at the beginning. As far as back going way back when growing up, before barbecue became your therapy, who was Mike and what was life like before the accident?
It's actually funny. I got into my accident. I was 23 years old.
Oh wow.
So at that time, I was just a young, wild kid. Really didn't cook much, had no aspirations of cooking.
Hmm.
And that's where it all started.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So growing up, how was barbecue? Did y'all barbecue any or a lot or none?
Again, not so much. Barbecue is something that I came onto myself. I fell into it. I fell in love with watching barbecue competition shows, the old shows with Myron Mixon and
Hmm.
Johnny Triggs, stuff like that. And I was really, really into it, and it got me into barbecue.
Okay. How's the barbecue scene in Chicago? Were you born? You were born in Chicago?
I was actually born in Indiana, but I
Oh.
grew up in Chicagoland.
Mhm.
And Chicagoland's a great food city. There's all sorts of ethnicities, different flavors. So Chicago's a great city for food.
Okay. And when the accident happened, did you feel like that's when you got into cooking or
Basically, after the accident, it destroyed my life. It took me years to actually be able to function on a normal basis and things like that.
Mhm.
And it took me a little while to come across cooking. It
Okay.
really did.
So how did you come across it? Was you just the traveling or
Actually, I married my wife. My wife is the youngest of five from a big Italian family. So she
Mhm.
basically grew up in the kitchen. I learned a lot of my cooking techniques from her early on.
Mhm.
And Italian cooking was basically what went on in my house and where I learned the base of my cooking from.
Okay. Okay. And how did you get the idea to infuse it with barbecue?
That's a funny story. I was out to dinner with my wife at a high-end restaurant in Chicago. It was an Italian restaurant.
Mhm.
And one of the specials was brisket with pasta. And I got all excited because by that time I had a little bit of a barbecue background.
Mhm.
And when the dish came, I took a bite of it, and the brisket was like braised brisket, like Mrs. Maisel would make or something. And all I was thinking to myself is, where's the smoke? And
Mhm.
again, with the barbecue background, I immediately started thinking in my head, this needs a smoky flavor. And it all started from there.
Oh yeah. And when you started doing the cooking, when you had the accident, was it your dominant hand or your non-dominant hand?
No, luckily I was always right-handed and it was my left arm that I lost.
Okay, okay. And how hard was that process to reinvent and start using everything with one hand?
It was very difficult, I'll be honest. Probably the hardest thing I had to reteach myself was something as simple as slicing an onion. A lot of cutting, things like that. It was a major adaptation.
And how does that process go now to you, as far as when you do cutting? Is you get anything that helps, or
To be honest with you, through the years, I've learned a lot of techniques to doing things one-handed. I actually just had a custom cutting board built
oh,
that's
cool.
made things a lot easier for me to hold things while I'm cooking, and that's made things a lot easier, yes.
Yeah, I know at times it could be frustrating. So at times, have it taught you to be stronger, having to refigure out how to do everything?
Definitely. It's definitely taught me a lot about perseverance. It's taught me a lot of things. Basically, I had to relearn how to cook everything. I can't lift certain things, I can't do certain things.
Mm.
So I found ways around all that, but it's taken years.
And did you feel that challenge made you more creative in everything you did when you, as far as your approach to food, that most things that people wouldn't do?
Oh, 100%. I think one of my biggest assets is that I'm not trained, meaning that I don't have any rules that I have to follow.
True.
I know what I like, I know what tastes good, and I try putting all that together. Sometimes it works out.
That's the best way to be. Because some people try to be too streamlined and be scared to venture off and try different things in the kitchen. But that's sometimes where you come up with the best stuff when you're experimenting.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
So you mentioned that your family was lucky enough to travel the world, eat some of the finest restaurants and tour kitchens and stuff like that. What were the most powerful lessons that you picked up along those experiences in different places?
I would have to say the biggest lesson I learned was on a trip to Italy. I realized there that you can have the most amazing tasting dish with nothing more than three simple ingredients cooked with love. And that's the greatest dish you'll ever have. So it's about simplicity.
That's definitely true. And me and my wife went to Italy for our honeymoon, well, half our honeymoon, and the dishes, the food out there is great, and all the dishes are like they're fresh, and it's totally different from out here where people open up cans. Everything is fresh, and the taste is like on a different level from out here. So it's definitely good
Oh,
out there.
100%. 100%. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Was there any chef or dish that left a major impression on you that you brought it back and tried to make it into your own style?
There actually was. Top Chef winner Joe Flam has a restaurant in Chicago.
Hmm.
We were at that restaurant with a group of people. I didn't actually order the appetizers. They came. There was a rib appetizer. The ribs were actually like oven baked or something. It wasn't so much about the ribs, it was about the sauce that was on the ribs. It was
Hmm.
incredible. We ended up ordering a second order, and Chef Flam actually brought the order to the table.
Oh wow.
And I just introduced myself right away. How you doing, chef? Blah blah blah, and asked about the sauce. And he was kind enough to actually tell me how he made the sauce, gave me the ingredients and everything else. And from there, I took that sauce, came home, and added it to my barbecue ribs with my barbecue rub, with my smoky flavor.
Hmm.
And that's actually become one of my most popular recipes.
So you make your own rub and sauces?
Oh, yes.
And let's go into the barbecue and the Italian food, two worlds that usually don't collide, but you built your empire on it. When you sparked when the idea came, were there a little hesitation of or nervousness of how it was going to come out? Because it's two different areas that usually don't mix in.
Of course, there was that initial thought, but then thinking it through with my knowledge of Italian food and making Italian sauces and things like that, it
Hmm.
was two flavors that were meant to be together, the rustic, smoky flavor along with the tomato. I like to think in my head that when the old days back in Italy, there was a old nonna cooking over an open fire, things like
Hmm.
that. So that's where it all came from.
And give us a behind the scene look at, I guess, a couple of your signature dishes. Do you have any stories behind your dishes, and what are you trying to say with your some of the dishes that you create?
I guess the first one would be my smoky ragu. After I had that brisket pasta recipe that actually gave me the idea, I came home and started creating that recipe from scratch.
Mhm.
So that was the beginning. And then from there, one of my most recent recipes is my barbecue stuffed shells, which are actually Italian shells stuffed with pulled pork. A full barbecue pulled pork that I've smoked overnight, barbecue rub, injection, etc. Those stuffed shells are then put inside of a tomato sauce, and then barbecue sauce is drizzled over the top of that. So that was a little bit of a challenge. I didn't know how the pulled pork was going to hold up in the shell. I didn't know how the barbecue sauce would taste with the tomato sauce. But again, that recipe came out incredible, and it's one of my most popular ones.
Have you had any dish that you created that you doubted at first and it worked out and it came real popular?
That barbecue stuffed shells recipe I was just talking about. I was a little nervous about that one, but luckily it turned out great on the first time.
Mhm.
I've made it twice since, and again, it's a fan favorite.
So how do people react when you tell them as far as you doing Italian and barbecue mix?
It's funny because I get reactions all over the board. Every once in a while, I'll get a comment, and it's from someone in Italy, and it's in Italian, and it needs
Wow.
to be translated. And I get all excited. Someone from Italy's commented on my recipe until I translate it, and they're telling me my food is garbage and things like that. It's hard to win over traditionalists like that have spent their whole lives making a certain kind of food.
Yeah.
Now the barbecue group though has actually somewhat embraced me. Everyone's given me positive comments, really positive feedback. So on that end of things, I feel like I'm doing really well.
The barbecue community, like I always say every episode, it can't be touched because they're supportive and helpful, and everything you do help give you that boost. Because it's so much. It's like being an artist when it comes to barbecue. There's so many different things. There's not just one way you can do things. There's so many
Yep.
different grills, so many different seasonings, ingredients, meats, and stuff like that. And there's not one certain way to do that is so many different avenues that you can take and express yourself your way. And just because 10 people don't like it, there's another 20 over here that may love it. So it's endless options to when it comes to barbecue. And some people just like being stuck inside the box, and that's why I say
Yep.
barbecue is different from other foods and stuff like that, because some people like being traditional, but sometimes you got to break out of it because that's how you
Very
expand
well
your
said.
knowledge. And what you're doing is something that nobody else is doing. And you took a chance. And if you would have got frustrated, ain't no telling where you'd be right now if you listen to other people saying that ain't gonna work. That don't even make sense. Just to, but
No,
you,
thank you very much. And yes, that's true.
that's what kind of impressed me when I was watching your videos. I'm like, he doing something that I've never heard of that as far as Italian and barbecue. And you took that idea and worked it and it's working. And you're showing that it can work. So that what you're doing is going to inspire somebody else to have an idea with other foods that they might been on the fence not trying, but okay, now seeing he can do it, I'm gonna try it too and be successful in it. You're an
Well,
inspiration.
thank you very much. And to be honest with you, that's my goal through all this. I believe that people should try anything, try everything, and fail at things because every time you fail, you're going to learn something from that and keep going and get up and just keep creating.
That's how you get better. Because if you don't fail, that you won't know to switch something out and put something else in and try it again. And main thing is just don't give up.
A
Uh,
100%.
as far as I guess Chicago, the food culture in the neighborhoods, where does healthy to hog wild fit in that landscape? And do you feel that you're representing a new voice in Chicago's food story?
I feel that Healthy to Hog Wild somewhat fits in right at the intersection of everything. Chicago is a great food city, great flavors. It's very traditional and Italian as well as barbecue. So I'm just trying to fuse those two flavors together and give somebody something new to try.
You shared that barbecue has been therapeutic for you, and the community plays a huge role in what you're building. Do you have a story behind the scenes where a message from a follower or a moment with a customer that reminded you why this work matters?
To be honest with you, I have received some amazing positive comments from people everywhere.
Mhm.
But it's really the negative comments that stick with me. The negative comments are what inspires me. People telling me that I'm not a real chef, people telling me that I've only got one arm, things like that actually fuel my fire
Mhm.
and inspire me to create and inspire me to maybe cross the edges a little bit and try something new.
For other people out there living with a disability that feel overlooked and underestimated, what message do you have? Do you hope they hear from your message when they're might be on the edge of scared of trying something based on what other people think?
It's right back to that thought I had earlier of try everything. Don't be afraid to fail. You can do anything. Set your mind to it.
Your brand, the healthy to hog wild food, where did that idea come from?
Actually, Healthy to Hog Wild Food is a blog that my wife and I started together during the pandemic. My
Mhm.
wife's a hairstylist. She was obviously off work, so we spent a lot of time in the kitchen together creating recipes. Before that, we love to entertain, we love to cook for people. We love to go to restaurants, obviously, and do all those things. People have been telling my wife for years she should start a food blog, things like that.
Mhm.
And the name actually came from a client of hers. Healthy to Hog Wild Food basically means that we eat healthy 75% of the time and we go hog wild the other 25.
When did you get the idea to start recording and coming up with recipes online and putting it online?
It was after we started the food blog, the next natural step from there was, of course, to start posting online.
Mhm.
It wasn't videos or reels at first. It was just simply making the food, taking a picture of the plated food, and writing out the recipe. It's evolved into what it is now just through the years.
How long did I guess do you constantly think of recipes to do, or how long did that process take as far as coming to ideas, recording it, and getting it out?
Sometimes it can actually be an obsession. I actually can't get food and recipes out of my head. I'll be trying to watch Netflix with my wife, and I have no idea what's going on in the show because I'm thinking about a recipe in my head. Or last night, for example, I was thinking about this interview this morning. So a lot of times my mind is filled with food thoughts. Yes.
I understand that because now I used to watch TV, but now I'm addicted to YouTube and trying to watch and learn stuff and see what's going on and stuff like that. It's like
It can almost overtake you sometimes. At least it does for me.
I love barbecue that much that see I have a since I have a newborn and she's growing up and stuff, I can't compete like I want to. So that's what I started doing this just to get a barbecue fix, just to get anything. But
Okay.
but once she
Okay.
get up in
Okay.
age, I'm gonna try to start competing and stuff like that. But this has been going pretty good. I didn't know how I was freaked out when I started this of how okay, is anybody gonna come on or how is this gonna go? But everybody's been receptive and everybody's come on for interviews and I feel welcome in doing this and I'm gonna keep it up because my main purpose is like yours, getting people's story out to motivate them that may be on the edge of doing something great, but they need that extra push. And if they hear your story or one of the other people's stories and see how they y'all can be successful, it'll push them out there and find their destiny. So that's pretty much
Well,
what I'm
thank
trying
you.
to do.
Thank you very much. And I've actually, since speaking to you, I've watched a few clips of your show. And one thing I can honestly say is the people you've had on your show are genuinely good people. The barbecue community, from what I've learned of it and what I know, are genuine, wholesome people that would give you the shirt off their back. And
Exactly.
it's just a great positive spirit, positive attitude, great community.
Because every time I go around them, I feel welcome. I brought my wife around them. They welcome us in. It's unreal. I wouldn't change it for
It's
nothing.
almost like a family. It's
Exactly.
almost
Closer than some people I know.
some of my family, I'd rather have the barbecue crew, let me tell you.
I know how that feel. All right, looking ahead, what's the vision for you and healthy to hog wild food? Is it maybe a cookbook, restaurant? More traveling, something else?
My dream would be to someday have a cooking show,
Mm,
maybe have a few retail items in the store shelves, things like that.
yeah, that's definitely.
Unfortunately, with having one arm, I can't compete. I can't work in a kitchen, cook line, things like that. So this has turned into my lane, and I'm gonna do the best I can in it.
Also, it inspire somebody to come up with products that work specifically for you. It hopefully this will spark ideas in somebody else that, like you said, the special cutting boards. Some people out there that may have ideas that may be sitting on them that can help you out, and hopefully this will boost their momentum and helping products so you can get out there and experience stuff like that.
And nothing would make me happier, to be honest with you, is you've mentioned inspiration a few times, and that's the biggest thing. I just want to inspire people, and not necessarily disabled people, but
Mhm.
any person. Some overweight guy sitting on the couch watches me do a video and says, "Hey, if that one arm guy can do it, I can do it too."
And it's an inspiration. Just getting out there. Some people just even scared to get in front of the camera, and you're doing it, and it's just taking that step. My wife wanted to do something online, but she keep hesitating. But I was like, the first step is just once you get the first video done and get the nerves out, it's okay, and you'll see that it's not as bad as you think it is. But
And that's actually 100% true. Once you get the first one out of the way, it becomes more natural every time.
people gonna make mistakes, but it makes it more
Sure.
human instead of super edited down where it looks super perfect. But it's like I said, just getting out there and enjoying something, doing something that you like, and then what you're doing is something you like. When you enjoy it, I mean, it comes natural.
When you do something you love, it's not work, it's passion.
So 5 years from now, if someone says the name Mike Krohn, what do you hope people immediately think of?
I hope they think Mike Krohn is that one arm guy from that cooking show, and he does some amazing stuff. You should really check him out.
That's the end of the questions, but I got a quick game that I play with everybody. In college basketball, they have a bracket, a tournament bracket. So I came up with a bracket that has 16 meats that you cook on the grill, and you just pick whatever meat that you prefer to eat. First matchup is lamb versus brisket.
Brisket,
All right. Next matchup is smoked ham versus sausage.
ham,
Okay. Next matchup is smoked turkey versus beef ribs.
beef ribs,
All right. Next matchup is barbecue shrimp versus hamburger.
hamburger,
Okay. Next matchup is pork chops versus smoked chicken.
pork chops.
All right, my guy. I love pork chop.
Mhm.
All right, smoked
Pork's my
bologna.
favorite meat.
Oh yeah. Smoked bologna versus pork ribs.
Pork ribs,
Okay. And we got hot dog versus pork belly.
pork belly. I do not like hot dogs,
All
and
right.
we're not going to get into that.
Steak versus burnt ends.
Ooh, burnt ends,
Okay. Next round is brisket versus ham.
brisket,
All right. Next matchup is beef ribs versus hamburger.
beef ribs,
Okay. And next matchup is pork chop versus pork ribs.
pork ribs,
All right. Next matchup is pork belly versus burnt ends.
burnt ends,
All right. All right. Final four brisket versus beef ribs.
brisket,
All right. And pork ribs versus burnt ends.
pork ribs.
Right. And the finals is pork ribs versus brisket.
Pork ribs is the winner.
All right. All right, Mr. Krohn, your therapy session is over. If you want to promote your websites or anything, give a shout out to your wife and all that, you can do that now.
First of all, I'd like to mention my biggest fan and supporter, my wife Dominique. I could do none of this without her. Everyone check out healthytohogwildfood.com. It's an amazing food blog. We can also check out YouTube at Healthy to Hog Wild Food,
Mhm.
TikTok, and Instagram.
All right. And on that note, we'll see everybody next episode.